Welcome to part 8 in this UNET tutorial series, and in this one I'm going to show you about shooting, so player shooting. It'll be a pretty quick video. So let me go ahead and create a new script, and I'm going to call this a player shoot. Alright, it's not going to be anything fancy, it's just going to be a raycast that'll be used to apply damage to to other players or objects later on. Okay, so first of all I need to change it into a networking script, so using Unity engine.networking, and then change this as usual to a network behavior. Alright, and then I want some variables here. I want a private float damage is equal to, say, 25, a private float range equal to, say, 200. This is how long my raycast will go. I guess it could be longer than that. And then say serialize field. I might just use this to store a reference to the cam transform, private transform, cam transform. I guess I'm just too lazy to call it up in code. And private raycast hit, and just call it hit. Okay. And I don't think I'm going to be using the start function. I will use the update function, and in here I'm going to make a function called check if shooting. Alright. Now I need to go ahead and make this function, I guess. So why don't I just do that and go to let's call it void check if shooting, and no parameters for it. And what I will do, if it's not the local player, then there's no reason for, I guess, for the check to even be done. So I guess I can just write, if not is local player. Because obviously the remote players, when I press my left click, they shouldn't be shooting as well. Only the player that I control should be shooting. And if it's us, then, which it will be if that condition is met, if input.getKey down, which one? It's a key code .mouse 0, which is the left click. Alright, then I'm going to run another function, which I will call shoot. Well, let me just get rid of that. Right, and I need to make this function. And in this one, this is where I'm going to actually use a raycast, so void shoot. Okay, and I'm just going to write here if physics dot raycast, and it's going to start from the cam transform, which is going to be the camera, dot transform point. Yeah, I think I should use transform point. So, and this allows me to set a position relative to the cam transform to start with, a local position relative to it. So 0, 0, and I'm just going to say slightly in front of the camera. So that way the raycast can't accidentally shoot the player itself. Just slightly ahead, just to avoid any issue there. And cam transform dot forward. Alright, out hit, so I want to return something, and then the range of 200 as was above. So if it does hit something, I guess for now I'll want to know what it was, so debug.log hit.transform.tag. So just tell me what that was, I guess. Also, I don't need another bracket there. Let me just get rid of that. Okay. And okay, so that's my debug.log statement. What if I just put in here now? So if the hit.transform.tag is equal to a player, and I will just point out that I am using the tag of player for the players. Am I? Oh no, I'm not. Ooh, okay. Well, in that case, I should set it to player. Okay, so now it's player. And if I didn't have that, I could have added a tag, but that's already there by default. So there we go. So we need to have the tag player assigned, otherwise this code will never find the player. So if hit.transform.tag is equal to the player, then in that case, I should set, I'll make up a string. I'll just call it uname, and no, I'll call it identity. Identity, yes, that's what I will call it, is equal to hit.transform.name. So this will grab the game object's name and store it into this variable, which I will then use to inform the server of who was actually hit. So it's a command, tell server, tell server what? Who was shot, player was shot. I think it's who was shot, or maybe it's player was, no, I'll just put it in there. No, I'll say who was shot. Yeah, because if I said player, maybe it might mean something else, like meaning us. Identity and the amount damage. Okay. And of course I need to go ahead and make this command, so that's the next thing I need to do. So I will now write a command and call this void command tell server who was shot, and this is going to need a string, which is the unique identity. I'll just call it ID. Oops, comma right there. And it needs a float of some kind for the damage. Alright, and I'm about to stop here, so because I need another script. So game object to go, I'll get into that in just a moment. Game object dot find unique ID. Okay, and then I'll just put here a comment. This is my intention for later, is to apply the damage to that player. Okay, and that's going to be the next video, because I need to make another script, a health script, which will have the player's health and be able to receive deductions to that health as well. So what this script is simply doing, all it's doing is that it's looking for when the player is pressing their left click. If they left click their mouse, then a raycast is fired from just in front of the camera, and it goes out for this whatever range. And if it hits something called if it hits a game object that has the tag of player, then what's going to happen is that a string is going to be created, which will have a reference to the name of that game object. Then that will be given to the server, and just a predefined amount of damage. The server will then find that game object, and using that identity, that name supplied, and then what I'm going to do with the next line is to actually apply this damage amount, and that's it. So it's very, very, very simple. Okay, so I've saved that. I can actually test it out, and let me just think about that. Yes, and actually, you know, why don't I do something else as well? I'll go to the main menu. And in the canvas, I think I will make a UI image and just position it in the center of the screen. Let me just think about this for a moment. Let me try that. Yep, okay. So that might be a bit too small. So I'm going to just make something like a crosshair. So this is a trick that the Unity guys show in one of their videos. And it is positioned in the center right now. I will change the color to red. Okay, so it's really visible now, and it is in the center of the screen, so perfect. Okay, done. Just save that and go back to the menu scene, and I guess I might as well build and run this and see what happens. Alright. Okay. And I guess, yeah, I need to do this in the editor. Oh, and of course I need to attach the script. That's very newbie. Let me just do that. So let me drag the player prefab back, and of course attach the script in there, and drop in player shoot. Okay, and of course I need to assign the cam transform, which is the first person character. Done. Hit apply, get rid of it. Done. Okay. Join in. Okay, now if I shoot, untagged, untagged, yep, those are all untagged, the floor, the cubes, got them, player, which is good. So that's it, it's working, and that's it for this video. And in the next video then I'll implement health so that we can actually apply damage and see, you know, like a health, health number for now. Okay, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.